In today's episode, Heidi asks, I wonder why you're offering your newsletter via LinkedIn. Based on past conversations, I thought that you created unique content for your newsletters and didn't publish it elsewhere to get people to subscribe to it and to be able to use it elsewhere if needed. So what motivated you to change? Really good question. Here's the thing. When I look in my Google Analytics at traffic to my subscribe page for my newsletter from all the different channels that are out there, LinkedIn for the last 6 months has been pretty close to zero, right? That means that my LinkedIn audience isn't subscribing to my newsletter by normal means. I've kind of tapped it out, I think. I've gotten all of the juice for the squeeze that I'm going to be able to get telling people to subscribe to my newsletter from LinkedIn posts, which means if I want the attention of that crowd, maybe I should try the built-in platform. With the understanding, I'm not creating anything new for LinkedIn. I'm literally copying and pasting from my existing newsletter to LinkedIn. But the content's still decent, right? It's still okay. It's not like the LinkedIn folks are getting like almost timely light. It's just the regular newsletter. When you've tapped out a platform, when you've tapped out an audience, it's worth a try trying some of the native tools because, as we know with many different social networks, what that social network is trying to do from a strategic perspective, they give preference to it, right? When Instagram rolls out Reels, guess what's going to get a thumbs up in the algorithm? The thing they want to promote. LinkedIn has been promoting newsletters. Twitter has been promoting newsletters with review. And as a result, those things for a short period of time will get more attention. Combine that with the fact that, like I said, nobody's subscribing. Nobody's even reaching my subscribe page from LinkedIn. That tells me there's no more juice to be squeezed there. So let's try it on platform. And sure enough, I put the first issue up, and within a week I had 1,700 subscribers. These are people who would prefer to get the newsletter on LinkedIn as opposed to in their regular inbox. Now, I'm still putting a banner up the top that says, hey, if you prefer to get this newsletter in your regular inbox, subscribe here, because I definitely don't want LinkedIn to be holding my audience captive if I can avoid it, if I can get them elsewhere. But those are 1,700 people who clearly did not want my newsletter in their regular inbox, because if they did, they would get it there instead. So why not? Here's the thing. At the end of the day, attention is the only thing that matters. Right? Well, it's not the only thing, but it's the most important thing from a publishing and media perspective. If you have nothing at the top of the funnel, the rest of the funnel by default is empty, right? There's nothing to nurture. There's nothing to sell. There's nobody to sell to. There's nobody to do customer care for. You've got an empty funnel. There's nothing there. When you have people's attention, however you can get it, by any legal and ethical means, note those two parts are important. Then you have something to work with. Again, when you have somebody's attention, then you have something else to work with. If you have stuff coming in the top of the funnel, some of it will eventually trickle down to the bottom of the funnel. But if nothing's coming in the top, you got nothing. And so those 1,700 people that have signed up for my newsletter on LinkedIn, that's 1,700 more people that I'm reaching than I reached the previous week. I'll take it, right? I will take whatever attention I can get on the content that I'm creating, because content without attention is completely valueless, right? You can put all the effort and care and stuff into a piece of content, and if nobody ever sees it except you, unless you're making content for yourself, it didn't do its job, right? It was a waste of your time. It was a waste of your resources. If I put my newsletter in front of 240,000 people, which is what the subscription is right about now, and I have the chance to pick up an additional 1,700 for really maybe 10 minutes of extra work, maybe 5, copy, paste, edit some UTM tags to make sure that we're not using the same UTM tags in both places. Why not? Why not? Now, again, if I see this really take off and I start seeing like an uncomfortably large percentage, like maybe more than 5% of my newsletter base is reading on LinkedIn versus in the email version, I might be a little bit concerned. Because again, if LinkedIn vanished tomorrow, would I want 5% of my business to disappear? No. But as long as it's just not a whole lot of extra work for a lot of extra potential return, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see if it works, and keep an eye on those risks. Keep an eye on those risks. So, long answer to a very good question. If you've got a channel that you've tapped out by regular means and you think there's still juice to be squeezed there in some fashion, try the native tools. See if you get a response that way. See if you get a response to whatever the social network's algorithm is promoting that week or that month or whatever their current thing is. And if you do, great. Then you've gotten some extra attention that you probably didn't have to pay for. So that would be the other major consideration. The LinkedIn newsletter doesn't cost me any additional hard dollars to put it up. And if 1,700 extra people are reading it for zero hard dollar spend and a nominal soft dollar spend, I'm definitely going to do it. So, good question. Try it out for yourself. If you can make it work, and it doesn't present a strategic risk to your business, why not take the extra attention and do something good with it? Thanks for asking. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.